Hello everyone, Jed Recaps is with you, and today I will tell you about the 2018 movie, an action comedy about martial arts, Big Brother. Don't forget to like the video and hit the red subscribe button before starting the video. Mr. Chen wants to be a teacher at a school. When he comes for an interview, they do not want to accept him due to absence teaching experience, despite a lot of life experience. Then Mr. Chen announces that he will work overtime and clean up the classroom at no extra charge for it. The headmaster warns him that the students are problematic, but Chen's stubbornness has taken its toll. Now he is a new teacher at this school. A new day begins, and with it a new school year. Chen comes to class to start the lesson. When he greets the children, he gets no response. The students are busy with everything, but not with the study itself. Someone plays the guitar, someone looks at the phone, and the guy in the middle of the class decided to cook instant noodles. The students still don't notice their new teacher, and he decides to approach the guy in the middle of the class. He is surprised that the guy pours a whole bag of spices into the noodles and advises him not to pour more than 1/3 of the bag, as it is very harmful. The new teacher instantly switches to the student standing next to him. He gives advice on how to tune the ukulele better and faster. The guy doesn't have time to say anything. Chen walks up the class. "Great car," he says to a girl who reads a magazine about cars. Chen tells her all about the model, summarizing his advice not to speed when he gets his license. Then he explains to the student about the dangers of the phone and manages to wake up the sleeping guy. Finally, when the children notice him, he greets everyone and introduces himself. Their new teacher's name is Henry Chen. The students have time to laugh at his handwriting and notice the tattoo. After they met, they again went about their business. Chen picks up a blackboard chalk and an eraser. A second later, the chalk hits the fire alarm, flooding the entire classroom with water. The new teacher stands with an umbrella and speaks. "Children, welcome to my class." During a smoke break, the students discuss Chen's act. They want to somehow take revenge on him, but the guy who is always on the phone calms everyone down. "Don't worry, it'll be gone in a week." The guys have a conflict with students from another class right before a joint lesson. The team leader from another class is trying to impress one girl from their class, but this student likes the guy on the phone. Then he quietly throws the bottle on the basketball court. The team leader slips and falls. One of the teachers notices this and makes them stay. As punishment, they have to rewrite the school rules 10 times. However, they manage to get out of this situation. They put the slug in notebook sheets and give it to the teacher. While the teacher arrives in a state of shock, they run home. Really troubled kids. People from the Ministry of Education come to the school. The principal tries to convince them to sponsor the school. At this time, the children are waiting for Chen to enter the classroom. They set a trap for him. And they wait, filming everything on the phone. As soon as a new teacher enters the classroom, he instantly hits a bucket of water falling on him. It flies to the end of the office. The trap failed. And since they want to disrupt the lesson so much, Chen offers the students a deal. If they answer 3 of his questions, they will be released from the lesson. The teacher approaches student Jack. Chen asks for a pack of cigarettes, which the guy must have. The teacher asks the class a question about the composition of cigarettes. The student playing the ukulele answers first. They let him go home. Now the whole class is shouting that they want to go home. This scene is seen by the director with people. Chen gives a lecture on cigarettes for children. The students do not understand at all why he tells them so much. He's just a general education teacher. Chen explains to them that he wants to really teach them and not just teach his subject. In parallel, people from the Ministry of Education warn the director. If this year, as in several previous ones, none of the graduates go anywhere, then they will stop funding the school. After the end of the lesson, everyone goes to the dining room, where they encounter the same students from the parallel class. A fight breaks out, as a result of which some students are about to be expelled. Chen explains that fighting won't help the cause and reassures everyone. Late in the evening, he takes the files of the students from the archive and goes to study them. Gordon, a kind guy with a ukulele, faced with the problem of racism. This is because he is from Pakistan. Gladys, regretting not having been born a boy, dreams of becoming a race car driver. Chris, a computer gamer, is actually just trying to disengage from a difficult family situation. Bruce, Chris's twin brother, who suffers from hyperactivity. Both dream of making money and moving out of their alcoholic father. Chen decides to talk to the director again and not expel the guys for fighting. The teacher reminds him of the responsibility of their work. Jack gets a job in a restaurant and hears the conversations of the rich. They are waiting for the school to close so they can build a luxury housing complex. Jack quietly steals a gold lighter from one of the rich. He instantly notices the loss. His guards beat the guy. After the man leaves him money and leaves. Chen visits Gordon outside school hours, but misses him. Gordon is caught stealing, and a huge crowd of people are running after him. Chen protects him from the evil mob. It turned out that Gordon stole the concert ticket. Chen asks him if it's better to sing by yourself. The guy replies that he sings better than many stars. Then the teacher asks him to come out and sing right now, but the young man is shy. Then Chen goes out on his own and sings with street musicians, setting an example for him. Gordon later joins him. That same night, Chris and Bruce's father kicks the other out for not agreeing to go buy him a beer. In the morning, Chen meets their father and strikes up a conversation. Everything is bad in Gladys's family too. Her parents force her to be feminine and want to marry her to an unknown person. She takes her father's car and runs away, but as soon as she pulls out of the parking lot, she meets Chen. He reminds her that she doesn't have a license to drive, but Gladys loves to drive. Then he offers an alternative in the form of karting. She is against her father. If Gladys wins, her father will fall behind her, but her father still does not intend to give up. Then she decides to go on real roads. And they both almost die. As a result, thanks to this, they manage to reconcile. After talking with Chen, Chris and Bruce's father changed his mind and stopped drinking. He invites his children to a rehabilitation center where their father is. They reconcile, becoming sincere. Jack, meanwhile, began to work for a rich man. He asks him to pour a substance on one fighter so that he loses. Meanwhile, Chen visits Jack's house. It turns out that he lives with his grandmother, and his parents died in a car accident. They live in poverty. He lies to his grandmother about his school performance so that she does not worry. Chen hesitates to talk about Jack's walks. When asked why he came then, Chen replied that he brought a scholarship on behalf of the school. Actually just helping her with money. The day of the fight comes. Jack must add the substance to the fighter's drink, but he is caught and the boss turns away from him. Chen comes after him and after a long and big fight saves Jack. The teacher helps him rehabilitate himself at school. The news about what happened is shown everywhere. Renders Chen was a Marine Corps soldier and graduated from the same school where he works. According to the recollection of teachers, he was a naughty child, which is why he was sent to a naval school. But he left it because he became disillusioned with military service. Seen the horrors of war. Chen went on a trip around the world, but still came back. Chen met with the principal of the school, whose health was failing. He promised him that he would return to school and help the children find their own way. Lessons continue, only now the whole class is trying to participate in them. He managed to earn their respect. Jack finally gets attention from the girl he likes. Gordon organizes his first concerts, where he invites his classmates, and one teacher clearly likes Chen. But Bruce does not succeed at all with his studies. He gets low scores on the exam. Bruce goes to the drugstore and buys a prescription stimulant drug in the hope that it will help him study, but he drinks them endlessly, going up to overdose. He ends up trying to kill himself, but survives. Chen is blamed for everything as a class teacher. He is called to a meeting. During one of the lessons, the children notice Chen's motorcycle. They run out of class and run after the motorcycle, calling the teacher and asking him to stay, but Chen has already been fired. Everyone misses him. Everything changes at school thanks to Chen. Approaches and principles of education are changing. The kids are doing their best because it's the only way to get Chen back. It's good to pass the exams and let the school live. The rich man for whom Jack worked is not going to lose his money because the school may not be closed. Then he closes the children on the playground during the exam so that they cannot pass it. But Chen comes to the rescue and deals with the bandits. It is revealed that Kane is Jack's former boss, one of Chen's former classmates. He disrupted Kane's performance and broke his arm, after which he was unable to perform. He had to play sports like his father wanted, so Kane wants to settle his personal scores. After the fight, he apologizes to Kane. Children write exams for good grades. Kane decides to take up the piano again. Jack and his grandmother finally get a decent home. Gordon becomes a popular musician. Gladys is allowed to pass on the rights and give the car. Bruce is on the mend. And the school increased funding by 20%. In the office, chalk flies into the fire alarm again. Children, welcome to my class. This is where the movie ends. Write in the comments how you like it and rate it from 1 to 10. Do not forget that by liking and subscribing you help our channel a lot, and also click on bell to watch new videos first.